If Jeremiah 29:11 were a scratch-off ticket, church would look like Vegas. Seriously, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Everyone's ready to cash that in, right? But hold up. This verse has fine print that nobody reads. And when you actually dig into what it really says, your entire understanding of God's promises is about to get flipped upside down. Drop a comment right now. Have you ever quoted this verse during a tough time? Because by the end of this video, you're going to see it completely differently. And honestly, it's going to be way better than you thought. Here's what most people think Jeremiah 29:11 means. God has this amazing plan for your life, and it's going to be awesome. Like a cosmic GPS that only knows the route to Success Street. Got a job interview? Waiting for your dream relationship? Want that promotion? That house? That breakthrough? Just claim it with Jeremiah 29:11. But here's the problem with treating this verse like a spiritual lottery ticket. It wasn't written to winners. It was written to people whose entire world had just collapsed. And that changes everything. Picture this. It's 586 BC. Jerusalem, the holy city, the place where God's temple stood, the center of everything these people believed about their identity, has been completely destroyed. We're not talking about a bad day. We're talking about watching your entire civilization burn to the ground. These aren't people scrolling through Instagram looking for motivational quotes. These are refugees, exiles, people who've lost everything they thought God had promised them. Their city, rubble. Their temple, gone. Their future, completely uncertain. Now imagine getting a letter in that moment. And instead of saying, "Don't worry, I'm getting you out of here next week," God says something that probably made them want to throw the letter in the fire. But this letter, this is where Jeremiah 29:11 lives. Not in a prosperity seminar, not on a graduation card, in a letter to people in the absolute worst circumstances of their lives. So let me give you 3 clues that completely rewrite how you read this verse. And I'm telling you, once you see these, you can't unsee them. Clue number 1. Who is this promise to? This isn't a DM to one person having a bad day. Read the beginning of the chapter. It's a group message. It's God's promise to all the people I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Not individuals, a people, a community. Think about that. When you're going through your hardest moment and you grab onto this verse, you're not just grabbing onto a personal promise, you're grabbing onto a community promise. You're part of something bigger. And honestly, that hits different, doesn't it? Drop a clue if you've ever felt like you were going through something alone, but knowing that God's promises are for the whole community changes how you see your situation. Clue number 2, the timeline that nobody talks about. 70 years. Did you catch that? Not 70 days, not 7 months, 70 years. Some of the people reading this letter would never live to see the fulfillment. Their children might not even see it. This is a multi-generational promise. God isn't running Amazon Prime with next-day delivery. He's playing the long game. And here's what's wild about that. It means the promise isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. Think about your toughest season right now. What if God's plan isn't just about getting you out of that season, but about what happens in that season? What if the promise includes the process? Clue number 3. What prosper actually means. This might blow your mind. The word translated as prosper in English, it's not about getting rich. It's not about getting everything you want. The Hebrew word is shalom. Say it with me. Shalom. Shalom means wholeness, completeness, peace that runs so deep it affects everything. It's not about having more stuff. It's about being more whole. It's like the difference between a Band-Aid and actual healing. Prosperity thinking gives you Band-Aids. Shalom gives you healing from the inside out. But here's where it gets really practical, because God doesn't just make this promise and leave them hanging. He gives them a roadmap for how to live while they're waiting. And this roadmap, It's going to challenge everything you think about waiting on God's promises. God says, build houses, plant gardens, start families. Wait, what? You're in exile, and God's telling you to put down roots? Most of us, when we're in a hard season, we're in survival mode. We're just trying to get through. But God says, no, don't just survive. Live, build something, create something, invest in something. But then he says something that's even more radical. Seek the peace and prosperity of the city where I carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Hold up. Pray for Babylon? Babylon is the place that destroyed everything they loved. And God says, pray for success? This is like telling someone to pray for their ex to have an amazing marriage. It doesn't make sense until you realize what God is doing. He's saying, my plan doesn't run around your circumstances. It runs through them, even in the place you don't want to be, especially in the place you don't want to be. That's where you'll find me working.
Let me get real with you for a second. I used to think this verse was God's way of saying, don't worry, I've got this amazing plan, and you're going to love where it leads. But when I was in my own Babylon, a job I hated, a relationship that ended badly, dreams that seemed completely dead, this verse felt like a cruel joke, until I realized I was reading it wrong. God wasn't promising to get me out of my hard place. He was promising to meet me in my hard place. And more than that, to use my hard place as the very soil where His plan would grow. The job I hated, that's where I learned skills I use every day now. The relationship that ended, that's where I learned what I actually needed in a partner. The dreams that died, that's where new dreams were born that I never would have imagined. God's plan wasn't plan B, it was always plan A. I just couldn't see it from where I was standing. So what is God actually promising in Jeremiah 29:11? Two things, and they're better than anything you thought He was promising before. First, His plan in exile. He's not promising to get you out of the hard place. He's promising that even in the hard place, He has a plan, and that plan includes the hard place. Second, His presence in prayer. Look at the very next verse. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. This isn't a vending machine promise where you put in prayers and get out blessings. This is a relationship promise. When you look for me, you'll find me. And here's what I've learned. Presence is better than presence. Amazon is fast. God is faithful. Completely different service models. Okay, so how do you actually apply this when your life feels like it's falling apart? Step 1. Pray before you plan. God, be near. Make me whole while I'm in this hard place. Instead of asking God to bless your plan, ask Him to shape you while you wait for His plan to unfold. Step 2. Plant where you are. Stop waiting for your circumstances to change to start living. Choose one concrete good thing you can do in your current situation. Hate your job? Find one way to serve your coworkers well this week. Struggling in your relationship? Choose one way to love better today. Disappointed with your city? Find one local organization to support. Garden-sized actions, not life-changing moves, just faithful planting where you are. Step 3. Think community. This promise was given to a people, not just individuals. Who's your community? Share this with them. Ask, how do we seek shalom here, together? Because here's what I've learned. God's promises are bigger when we hold them together. Let me ask you something. What's your Babylon right now? What's the place you don't want to be, but can't seem to get out of? What if God isn't trying to get you out of it? What if He's trying to meet you in it? But here's the question that's been bugging me, and it might be bugging you too. If shalom comes after exile, what does God give you during exile? The very next lines in Jeremiah give us the answer, and it's going to change how you see waiting on God. Would you like for us to cover those next? Because if you thought this changed how you see God's promises, wait until you see what He's actually doing while you're waiting. Hit that like button if this shifted something for you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And I'll see you next session. Drop a comment and let me know,
Where do you need to start planting instead of just surviving? Because I read every comment, and honestly, your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And remember, God's plan isn't a lottery ticket. It's a survival guide, and it's better than anything you could win on your own.